Hello, welcome back to another episode of 50 Shades of NBA podcast. I'm Nathan.
I'm Trey.
And this is episode 23.
23.
Last week.
LeBron's number.
Yeah. So last week was our Swifty pod, and this is our MJ LeBron pod.
MJ.
MJ, yep, him too. Michael
What about
Jordan.
Anthony Davis?
Oh, no, he doesn't count. He does not count. He's 3 now. He's only 3 to me. So there's that.
That being said, we're also playing. We also have a 2K league going right now.
Shout out Tim Duncan, the 2K MVP of 2003
NBA Finals.
Yep,
and just MVP.
NBA champion.
Oh my gosh,
Finals MVP. Tim Duncan, have yourself a day, dude.
Yeah,
have yourself a day.
It's fine.
But other than 2K, we have basketball to talk about.
Basketball,
and a man that put up some 2K like numbers the other night.
Ooh, nice.
Damian Lillard. 71 points.
Ooh.
A win against the Rockets.
Ooh.
Uh-huh. I mean, it's the Rockets. The Rockets have been literally letting anyone and their mother put up points against them this year. I saw something really quick after the game about all the big nights against them. It was like Kevin Durant, 40-something, Luka, 50-something, like 1 or 2 times. He scored a lot, but like you show up on the court and you're going to have a career high.
It certainly appears that way.
Yeah, it really does. They're just not good. They really aren't. But I do have to say, towards like the fourth quarter I was watching, it was ridiculous because they're what I saw it as, they're like, all right, we don't want Dame doing something crazy or crazier to us right now because they're playing respectable defense on him.
Yep.
Dame was still just getting his shot because he was in the zone, but like it wasn't like a gimme. Dame gets the ball and no one's contesting it. Like,
yeah,
they were genuinely trying to make sure this man did not break 70.
He broke 70.
And oh my gosh, he had a couple missed layups too. In the fourth quarter, I'm like, dude, I think I saw 3 just off the top of my head.
What a smushed it.
If you get those, like you're getting close to 80. You're smelling
like
80.
77. That's fourth all time in scoring, I believe, per game.
Yep.
I believe it is right now 181, 78, 75 by Will, and then 73 by Will. So that's crazy.
It really is. But yeah, that was absolutely insane.
I'm actually more hyped for this 70 piece than I was for D-Mitch's 70 piece.
I am too. Let me hear why you first, and then kind of tell.
I just like Dame more. That's really my whole thing. Dame scares me. I saw this thing. I believe Kirk Goldsberry posted it on Instagram and Twitter. But Dame is the only player to ever go over 70 and have 450 feet of shooting.
Jesus.
Like path of the basketball from hand to hoop. Like there was 450 feet of it, and that's insane.
That's ridiculous. Shout out Dame. But the part that really stands out to me, Dame did this in regulation.
Yeah.
D-Mitch, he needed overtime. Also, side note, my Utah Jazz, who had like 12 wins all year, got the number 2 seed, so that's tragic.
Number 2 pick.
And it's the 03 draft, LeBron draft, so gonna need a draft night trade. Goodbye, Scottie Pippen. Scottie Pippen's on the Jazz. I don't know why. But anyway, yeah. He did this in regulation. He played like 46-something minutes, and his efficiency was good. He shot 22 for 38 from the field. He was at the line 14 times, and he had a career high of 13 threes.
It went crazy.
He did.
It went crazy.
6 assists, 6 rebounds sprinkled in there, but
sprinkled.
But I don't know. It was really impressive.
It's crazy.
It really is.
It's crazy. I love Damian Lillard.
Uh-huh.
Was that right after he had the quote of
literally a couple days after
he had the quote of people, my haters better hope I don't win a championship for this city.
Yeah, he's like, y'all better pray I don't win the championship for Portland.
I don't need to pray. You're not going to, but still.
You know what? Quote. Fair point.
Got him.
Yeah. Now that's like one of those things Dame has always embraced, not running from the grind, but in reality, it's probably going to come at the expense of a championship. And I don't know. I think he's okay with that.
Do we put too much weight in what a championship means?
Oh, that's so tough. That is so tough. I'm I think we put too much weight in it by means of respecting and giving props to great players that never win, because there's a ton of great players that never win a championship.
A lot to come to my mind.
At the same time, like if you win a championship, there's
inherent value.
There's something to be said about that.
Yeah.
But I think.
But who's better, Kyle Kuzma or Tracy McGrady?
T-Mac.
Who has a championship ring?
Touche. See, that's where I'm like.
There's a certain level where we're going too far.
Yeah, there is definitely a certain level, because Damian Lillard should go down as one of the all-time greats of the game, and just because he didn't win a championship, or he hasn't at this point, I think some people are going to look at it and be like, well, he really wasn't that great.
Like if Dirk never won a championship, he would never be in conversation for top 2 power forward all time.
That's true, which is crazy.
Because that doesn't change how good that player was.
Yeah, you watch him play, he's phenomenal.
Like it definitely means something when you win the championship, like you're saying.
It does.
But it changes something inherently in your mind where you go, Dirk, top 10 power forward. And then you go, oh, Dirk has a championship, top 2 power forward. Second only to Tim Duncan, probably.
Mr. Fundamental.
There's other, you can argue other people, but typically those are the top 2 that I hear the most often.
It's like the cherry on top or the sprinkles on top of a career. And I think that's how it should be looked at. Like you still get the weight of their career, all their accolades and incredible accomplishments. And that's like the ice cream of it, right? That's what matters. And everything else, a championship, MVP, scoring title, whatever, that's like the toppings.
But it's almost like reverse that right now, though, with the way you look at it. Because you have players like Draymond. And you have players like, I mean, no disrespect to any of the players I'm going to mention. But like Curry himself is not a top 10 player.
Okay, yeah.
But Curry has all these championships, so he's consistently put in the top 10.
Better.
And I'm not going to argue like why people would put him there, because it's hard to argue with all he's done for the game, all the championships he's won.
Yep.
That being said, he's not one of the top 10 best players of all time. When you have people like LeBron, you have people like MJ, you have Scotty, you have Hakeem, you have Bill Russell, Will, all these players. I mean, it's just kind of like, because if you look back in the past, right? Who do you know more about, Wilt Chamberlain or Bill Russell?
I know more about Wilt Chamberlain.
He won only 2 championships compared to Bill Russell's 11. But we care so much more about what he did as like a crazy player.
The crazy, ridiculous stats that'll never be touched.
So I don't see why we have suddenly put so much weight into championships.
Yeah.
And I feel like one of the main reasons behind that is so people can pull it back to the Jordan Braun debate.
Yeah.
In a lot of the ways. Not all of them. And that's not where it all came from.
But I see what you're saying, though.
From that debate now is brought into regular conversation of, oh, okay, but
how many ships does he have? How many rings?
How many small forwards? How many,
That's a really good point.
Thank you.
And I was watching a little bit of First Take earlier because Charles Barkley was on having an interview with Stephen A. Smith. And they kind of touched on that, just the value of championships. And they talked about Dame, and he more or less was kind of saying what we just said. He's saying these great players aren't getting the attention and like flowers they deserve because they haven't won something. But you look at a championship, he was bringing it back to KD and his decision to go to the Golden State Warriors and saying like, yeah, we get that you're a tremendous player, best player on that team, but your road to
a championship was bought.
Yeah, it wasn't earned, and he took that back to LeBron's decision to go to Miami and said those 2 championships in Miami like were kind of viewed or are viewed as like the equivalent of KD's on the Warriors, but LeBron came back and was like, I know a bunch of old heads aren't gonna like respect my championships until I do it on my own and lead it on my own. And that's, what he did in Cleveland and delivered. So yeah. And that just talking about the value of rings over others that's a whole nother thing.
It's crazy. It's crazy. Like at the end of the day, if Damian Lillard plays, because he played a lot in college. So let's say he plays like 16 total years. Yeah. Say all 16 are with Portland. Yep. Never wins a ring. That is so much more valuable to me than KD's career. Okay. Wow. Like I know, because KD, one of the best scorers of all time, often called the best scorer of all time. But if we're going off of a ring debate, his ring doesn't really it does count because it is still a championship ring. He got Finals MVP.
Watered down, reason. Are you saying?
It just doesn't hit as deep with me as, you know, Damian Lillard stayed with his same team through everything. The team that drafted him believed him, yada, 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 and got paid well, but still.
Yeah, he did.
He did. But at the same time, it's just like I care so much more about Damian Lillard's career than I do Kevin Durant's career because Damian Lillard hasn't turned himself into that like, I'm so concerned about my legacy. I have to go win a championship. Like obviously he wants to win a championship.
Yeah.
There's no doubt.
That's like every player who's doing the game at this level wants to win a championship.
No player is cool with being like, I am happy being the best player on the worst team.
Yeah.
I'm sure some younger guys are, or maybe some guys who got rings on a different contract.
Yeah.
But a lot of it comes into that of like, I like this team's area. I like this. Like when Harrison Barnes went to the Kings.
Yeah.
You know, that makes sense because he goes, well, they're going to pay me more. I can still be in California. It's up in Sacramento, but still in Cali. I'm going to go there. And I understand that. He already had his ring, whatever. And that turns out better for his career, I feel like, than just being like the 5th best guy in Golden State.
Yeah. Third or fourth.
Well, because you got Steph, you got Dre, you got Clay. And then B. Barnes.
Yeah.
But they also got KD.
Oh, okay. I was just looking at that first Warriors team.
Sure.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, and there's some level of just like the players got to do what's best for them. You got to respect that. But the move strictly of Kevin Durant going, I'm going to go win a championship with Golden State, who just beat us in the playoffs. I'm like, okay, dude, like, ugh.
No, I think the entire sports world, or at least the basketball world, they had such a bad taste in their mouth when they heard that. It's just kind of like, really? You just lost to these guys.
When it happened, I wasn't even super deep in the NBA. I had literally the first time that I remember paying attention was the finals after the 3-1 finals.
Okay.
That LeBron won.
Yeah.
That's the first NBA game I remember sitting down, watching it, like paying attention to all of it, knowing most of the players.
Got you.
And so that was a big one for me.
Yeah.
And so I didn't even really recognize like the significance of KD going there on that extra level of, well, they just beat the Warriors in the playoffs. So I don't know, man. I don't know.
All right.
I don't have a problem with LeBron going to the Heat. I think a lot of problems within the Cavs organization pushed him away. And
they weren't doing anything like organization-wise to help him out whatsoever.
The owner wrote a letter calling LeBron like a toddler.
Oh yeah, no, he
all this stuff.
Did not handle that decision well whatsoever.
So it's a little bit different, but
yeah, there's a lot of factors that did play into that role.
What people say.
Going back to that,
really had.
Huh?
Go ahead.
Oh yeah, I was just gonna say, going back to that Charles Barkley one-on-one with Stephen A. earlier. He also brought up another kind of popular topic right now, and that's the idea of load management. And Chuck was basically, he was against it and how it's used right now by a lot of stars in the NBA. I mean, when you think of load management, my mind immediately goes to a guy like Kawhi Leonard, who I think more or less kind of really popularized it.
Really pioneered that load management.
He really did. He really did. Obviously, it was something that was done before, like decades before, but he made it, I don't want to say okay, but he made it look nice, because you look at the Raptors run.
Yep.
There's a lot of that load management to keep them healthy. So they could make a deep run into the playoffs, and teams looked at it and it worked because the Raptors won.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It seems like, it feels like teams are wanting to rest their stars because they see the success that it does have if they don't have the miles and minutes on them.
If you don't need your star to play to win the games, or you don't need to win the games.
Yeah, if you know you're going to be in the playoffs. But
I think the idea of load management goes back more and more to like this whole idea of long-term competitiveness. And like the biggest problem for load management that the NBA is facing is I don't want to go to a game where Giannis sits, you know?
Yeah.
I don't want to go to a game where Joel, James, Tyrese, they're all sitting. I don't want to go see not my favorite players play in a regular season game. That being said, you have 82 of them.
Yeah.
They need to have some time off. That's a lot. That's a lot on their bodies.
My only like pushback with that initial thought is the NBA has done a lot. Adam Silver's done a lot to make it easier on these players. Like there's almost no back-to-backs, or at least not as high of a frequency that you had even 5 years ago.
Yeah.
They have a longer time for All-Star break, for time off. If you're not in the All-Star game, you have a week off, something like that. And then, 3 days, 4 days.
They do really good things for their stars.
And I look at the travel accommodations. All of them are flying private, with their teams. They have countless members of like training and what do you call it? Like dietitians, whatever you need, like that's on hand.
Yeah, each team has those.
Yeah, and in abundance. So it's not like the treatment and care that they're getting is diminishing, but the games that they're playing is, which doesn't make sense. You look back, like Chuck used this example. He's like, we were doing back-to-back. We didn't have, a massage therapist for everyone, dietitian. Like, we were just out there playing, doing 82 games, a lot more back-to-backs. And, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the amount of games playing is trending downwards.
Yeah,
and the amount of, like,
care and
stuff is going up.
Yeah. So that's, like, my issue with it. Because really, we shouldn't be seeing the stars missing this many games. If
they miss a lot.
Yeah. And kind of going back to what we were saying earlier, I think it is because we as like consumers, media, and whatever, we do put so much value in championships, and we've devalued the regular season, and guys like Dame won't get the nod and the accreditation that they deserve for their regular season accomplishments because all we care about is championships.
Yeah.
So it's like a double-edged sword, right? You want your favorite player and your favorite team to win all these championships because that's what people look at as a sign of greatness. And in part, like that's true. Like championships matter.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying they don't, but at the same time, it's like you can't want that, like that be your only goal and want your stars and stuff out there night in and night out, because teams are going to, load manage in response to trying to achieve their championship aspirations.
I totally agree. Agree.
So I don't know. I think it's definitely an interesting thing. I'd love to hear, people who are listening, your thoughts about this, because
I want to hear a player's thoughts.
Yeah, I know. Well, All-Star break, Anthony Edwards, he was very public about it, and he was anti-load management for whatever that's worth. He's young, like he can obviously recover and move around a little bit easier.
He's going to bounce back faster than Kawhi Leonard is.
Which definitely makes sense, but he's like, I want to play every single game, and I don't get why these guys are, sitting out back-to-back when they really don't need to be.
Yeah, it definitely, it doesn't always, but it can show a love for the game.
Yeah, for sure.
Because with Ant saying that and him always trying to play, and then I think back to the past of I'll use Sixers and stories because I know them the best, but Allen Iverson used to be so injured and he would still try to play that they would have to give his sneakers to random assistants and have him go hide his sneakers so he couldn't suit up. And awesome. Iverson would make them go get him new shoes.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And so it's just that level of love for the game that I'm just do we really have that anymore? Because there's definitely players like Dame, like Edwards, who want
Bridges
to play
on the Nets.
Bridges,
yeah,
who want to play basketball.
Yeah,
they want to more than anything. And then you have times where can we really say the same for Kawhi? I don't know anything about Kawhi. Dude's quiet.
No one does.
I've just found out recently he has a family.
Does he?
He has kids.
I have no idea. Kawhi Leonard has kids?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Really?
Yep.
How? A boy and a girl?
I think it's a boy and a girl.
Wow.
I'm not convinced he's not a robot and those aren't also robots. Wow. But that being said, I believe he has a boy and a girl.
Are they old?
No.
Young, 2, 3?
I would say they can walk, but they're still less than 10 probably.
Holy cow, dude.
At least when I saw this.
I had no idea. I don't know anything. No one knows anything about that man.
Hey, listen, Kawhi's great.
He is great. He gets a butt end of a lot of these discussions, which it's not fair to him, but
it's not, but he did pioneer it.
Yeah.
This was his
popularized,
not invention, but it was him doing it was the first major time that I remember going, load management. That's a thing.
Yeah. I mean, they even did it in some respect when he was in San Antonio, because he does have an injury history. So Pop, regulated his minutes, but
yeah, regulating minutes and like completely being like he's out for load management reasons.
Yeah, that's fair. When you cite that on the injury report,
yeah, I'm just like
bad. That's bad.
Okay, stop that.
No, that is bad.
I'm gonna look up Kawhi Leonard's children and show you a picture.
Okay, I appreciate that.
I really like how this came back to our championship conversation. You would have thought that was planned. That's not on our spreadsheet. No, that was just a rant that I had at some point.
Yeah, it just kind of happened. It's natural. But moving on from that, we do have some news going to the Hawks, a team we don't talk about a lot. And we told you last week they fired the head coach, and it looks like Quinn Snyder, former Utah Jazz head coach, is filling in. And the Hawks, since the firing of Nate McMillan, I think they were 2-0, looking good. Well, at least a lot better than what they were. But my thoughts really fast on this Quinn Snyder hiring. I think it's awesome. I think it's definitely what the Hawks need, what Trey Young needs, because Quinn Snyder's a incredible coach, builds great like culture and team camaraderie. He's great for guards. You look at how Donovan Mitchell developed, how Mike Conley worked when the Utah Jazz were clicking, and you look at your two guards in DeJounte Murray and Trey Young, and I don't see anything but upside as it pertains to those two. But that being said, I think with this hire, which is a 5-year contract for Quinn, a lot of the success is going to go back. Okay, I'm looking at Kawhi's kids. Wow.
One boy, one girl.
His daughter looks like maybe 2, 1.5. I don't know.
Maybe. I feel like that's an old photo.
It honestly probably is.
They don't know the name of the son still, like the world doesn't.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
I didn't even know he was seeing nobody either.
That's his girlfriend since San Diego State University.
Wow. Oh my God.
They don't know if they're married or not either.
That is awesome. Way to go, Kawhi. Talk about keeping your family out of the limelight.
Literally been together.
They could walk down the street right in front of me.
I'd be like, hey, Kawhi, who are you guys?
Yeah. Oh, my Lord. That's awesome, though.
Yep.
That was awesome. But, I think for Trey Young, DeJounte Murray, and where this Hawks organization is going now, definitely a great hire.
Yes. So my thing with it, right, is I have no problem with the hiring. I have a problem with the firing of Nate McMillan still. Okay. I feel like Nate McMillan always gets the brunt end of this.
Kind of does.
Because he had this happen with the Pacers, right?
Yep.
He got fired just like halfway through a season for no reason. Because Nate McMillan's a fantastic coach. And then he'll go somewhere, get appointed interim after another firing. He'll do so well as an interim, they'll give him the job again. And then when they start struggling again, after making a weird trade, a weird fit trade, they'll fire him.
Yep.
I like Nate McMillan a lot.
That's fair. Well, it's like 3 years since the Hawks Eastern Conference Final appearance too. I don't know.
That was created by Nate McMillan's coaching.
Yeah. So
it really was.
It was. It definitely was. This roster, I think, is better than what they had. And granted, the East got a little bit better, or better overall.
Yeah.
But you look at where the Hawks are and how they've performed this year. I don't know. Something's not working. Maybe his coaching's just fallen on deaf ears, and they needed to make a change from that standpoint. But I don't know. I don't like it.
I don't like it either. I do like the Quinn Snyder hiring though. I like Quinn Snyder as a coach. I think he's gonna do his best with the Hawks. I think the problem goes a lot deeper than the coaching of the Hawks. I think it goes into construction.
Okay. Construction of the roster? Yeah.
The 3 first-round picks traded for DeJounte Murray. I love DeJounte Murray. Okay. You know I do.
I know.
I do not like him on this team. He's a weird 2-guard fit.
That's fair.
And I'll be honest with you, since leaving Popovich, kind of been like a little too cocky for not accomplishing anything in his career.
Okay. Wow.
Sorry, DeJounte.
I wasn't ready for that. Yeah, DeJounte, we know you're listening. You can clap back at Trey at any time.
At Trey B _PSN.
Yeah, or at our Twitter.
Let me real quick. Let me backpedal a little bit. I have a lot of respect for DeJounte.
Okay. And
his return from injury.
Yep.
But you got to admit, he's been a little out of whack since going to Atlanta. He had the whole thing in the summer league.
Summer league, he was really feeling himself.
Slamming the ball on just like some random dude's head.
Some dude who just got off of work doing somebody's taxes and
just slamming it on his head. Then he had that whole thing on Paulo.
Yep.
Him and Paulo were beefing and Paulo's killing it this year.
Yes, he is. Rookie of the year.
Easy. He had that really like, I don't know if he posted it, but a lot of people were posting like that move he had on Paulo, and then he just bricks the layup.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was that whole game against the Rockets earlier this year where him and Trey Young were celebrating in like the second and third quarter.
Mm-hmm.
And like, he like threw it back to Trey, and he was doing all these dance moves as Trey shot it over him for the 3, and they lost.
That's tough to the Rockets.
Like, the Rockets won.
That's such a
tough.
That's such a bad loss.
That's TUFF for the Rockets, though. Tough.
Mm-hmm.
It was crazy. And it just feels like, did you ever see anything about DeJounte Murray like that in San Antonio?
No, I do think that has a lot to do with Greg Popovich and just the culture that the Spurs are.
It's the Spurs culture.
It is the Spurs culture. It definitely is, because he's
keep your
not
head
the
down,
only
make the extra pass.
Yeah, he's not the only player. Well, because he commented on it a little bit just about the Spurs culture and how it's kind of similar in a way to the Patriots culture with Bill Belichick. Everyone's treated the same. Manu Ginobili in an interview during the something finals against the Cavs was like, no matter who I am or what my accomplishments are, he'll look at Tim Duncan and treat him the exact same as the 15th dude on our roster. And we're winning a lot of games, and he's saying if we don't win this next one, tomorrow's practice is going to be absolute hell type of deal. So,
God, I love Greg Popovich.
Yeah, he's a great coach.
Manu Ginobili.
Yeah,
I've recently fallen in love with Manu Ginobili highlights at night.
That's what's up.
Watch them before I go to bed.
I will. But yeah, I don't know. Spurs culture, and I think as soon as players are out of it, I don't want to say they can kind of be themselves.
It's like when you send your kid off to college and they party all year.
It really is. You think they're some little angel, and
they're demons.
Yeah, you hear
they're demons
how their first year went.
Slam a basketball on other people's head.
Yep.
While getting paid like $25 million to do it.
Mm-hmm. That's what's up, though. I mean, hell, that's ideal, honestly.
I hear you.
I don't know. I think definitely where I had the Hawks projected, I had them lower in the East, but I thought they'd be better than what they are right now.
I think I had them at like my 5th seed.
I think I had 8, 6, 7,
I had
8,
high
right
hopes,
around there. You did have high hopes.
I like DeJounte a lot.
Yep. We'll have to go back towards the end of the year and just kind of reflect on where we went wrong.
Everywhere.
Possibly.
The Western Conference is where I went wrong.
Possibly. I'm excited. It'll be a nice eye opener to see how good we are at projecting. Also, there were a lot. Yeah, well, projecting their futures. Yeah, but there were a lot of trades, a lot of movement this year from stars in the league.
There really was. I mean,
it'll just be fun.
No one was going to predict the
Kevin
KD
Durant
to Phoenix, the Kyrie to
the
Dallas. I will say I did have the Nets missing the playoffs though, and that still might work.
Okay, you know what? Knock on wood. You had that for other reasons though, but yeah, curious to see, excited to see how Quinn Snyder will do with Trey Young, DeJounte, and I hope for his sake, because I love Quinn, that they turn it around and get going in the right direction. Definitely won't be this year. Next year though, whole nother possibility. But moving on, we got Jason Kidd and his comments after the Mavs blew a 27-point lead against the Lakers. And to give you a little context about how ridiculous that is, teams were 138-0, so undefeated when they were leading by 27 or more points. So this is very historic, and very historic collapse for the Dallas Mavs. And after the game, he was asked some questions about his team's performance and just what happened in the game. And he said, "I'm not the savior here. I'm not playing. I'm watching the game just like you guys. And as a team, we got to mature. And we got a lot of new bodies coming back. We got to grow up if we want to win a championship. There is no young team that's ever won a championship mentally or physically."
Interesting.
I thought it was definitely really interesting.
I think that giving the whole quote like you did was very smart, because just that one little bit makes it sound like he's like, it's not my fault.
Yeah.
But that's not what he's saying at all.
No, you need a little more context. I know the clickbait that was kind of being tossed around after the game was, we got to mature. And that's what a lot of people grabbed onto. The whole quote in context, especially that last sentence, there's no young team that's ever won a championship mentally or physically.
Mm-hmm.
That's, I think, almost the most important part.
It is, because I'm trying to think now of any super young team that won a championship.
Yeah, I don't know. At least without like that one veteran who has kind of been there, done it before.
Can you think of one that just had one veteran do it? Because I can't.
I don't know.
The youngest I can think of is that first Warriors team where Steph was like already 28.
Yeah. Well, Iggy was there too, and he was
37.
He was their veteran.
45.
Yeah. That
80 years old, I'm sure.
MVP Iggy.
Finals MVP
MVP
cool.
Iggy.
I'd say the closest I've ever seen to a young team winning a championship is any LeBron-led young Cavs team pre-Heat.
Yeah. But winning a championship, that's that disclaimer. So
it's a lot of championship talk.
There's a lot of championship talk. You love to see it. Well, I guess it's kind of fitting for our 23rd MJ.
Yeah.
6, LeBron 4. That's 10 right there.
It's 10.
Quick maths.
It's less than Bill Russell.
Still less than Bill Russell. Ridiculous. Shout out Bill Russell.
Shout out Bill Russell.
Mm-hmm. Rest in peace, Bill Russell. But yeah, I thought it was interesting. You can't have that kind of collapse against the Lakers.
You can't. You really just can't. And I mean, other side, good on Darvin Ham, good on the Lakers.
Yeah, great.
Good job.
Darvin Ham's been coaching his ass off, especially with everything he's had to deal with.
The explicit tag right there.
Oh my gosh. We were talking before. We're like, man, what did we get flagged on last episode?
Every time we get flagged for explicit, it's always Nathan, except for last episode, which was me.
Yep. Well, that time it was both of us, almost in like unison. Just say it. Yep, it was both of us. It's okay, Trey.
Wasn't both of us.
It was both of us. But looking back now at that Mavs game and hearing the news that we did maybe a couple hours ago with LeBron, he went down in the fourth. I don't know what quarter it was, but in my mind, I want to say the fourth quarter because I know he was out for a second, then came back, played the rest of the game. And there's an update on his injury where he was seen on camera on the news or TV cast saying it popped. I think it popped, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it came out today that he has an ankle injury and will be out indefinitely. And that's all it says. So I'm assuming probably done for the rest of the regular season, which is really tough considering where they are right now.
It's rough.
Because they're 2 games back from that 6th seed, which is what Darvin Ham said we wanted to get to. And oh my gosh, without LeBron James, the best player on your team, how are you going to do it?
Really rely on Anthony Davis?
You're going to have to.
Really rely on him?
Yep. Put the mortgage on AD. That he stays healthy.
You don't have Thomas Bryant to carry you in the non-AD minutes.
No,
you got Mo Bamba.
You got Mo Bamba.
Jared Vanderbilt had a great, outstanding defensive game.
Oh my gosh, he had like 18 boards.
He was so good.
Great.
I guess you hope. Okay, so this is the hope now, right?
Yep.
Let's say you lean on AD. He gets you like 30 a night for the next like week, right?
Yep.
Next like 5 games total in your schedule.
Okay.
And then he gets injured, right? You hope that D'Lo has his Nets run.
Okay.
You hope that D'Lo has his Nets run, his final season there, where he just kind of willed a team of nobodies.
Yep.
To the playoffs.
They're just having fun. Jared Dudley, dude. Yeah. I don't know. It's very grim for the Lakers right now.
It's not looking great.
No.
At all.
I think there's 21 games left on their schedule. I'll give them 10 at best.
I'm going to give them 15.
I don't know who's on their schedule. I'm just saying.
15 wins in the next 21.
Okay, well, who knows? That might be doable. The West is really tight right now. A lot of teams are at that 30, 32 range. So it'll be a very exciting season finale, to say the least. But I don't know. With how the Lakers have performed the bulk of the season, it doesn't look good.
It does not look great.
So, Lakers fans, since you're out there, you're listening.
I really hope you guys still make the playoffs.
I do too.
I want to see LeBron win another championship, unless it's Philly.
unless it's Philly.
I've been thinking lately.
Lakers, Sixers championship.
Lakers Sixers would be so fun.
Okay.
That being said,
yep.
I've been thinking
about what?
Sixers looking like contenders out here.
Okay.
I really started drinking the Kool-Aid. Yeah, even after tonight. Tonight was a good fought game.
Okay. Against the Heat.
Yeah.
Lost to the Heat.
Yeah. Jimmy Butler.
Jimmy Buckets, baby.
Jimmy Buckets can be kryptonite for Philly for a while still.
That's okay.
That's all right. Okay. Unless we face him in the playoffs. No case.
Okay. Yeah.
But I think Philly is going to make a this is my hot take. I think they're going to make an Eastern Conference final this year. I don't know if they're going to win it. Yeah. I feel like it's going to be Philly Boston or Philly Milwaukee.
Okay. That's fair. I think
those are my two teams coming out of the East.
At the end of the day, it's going to be where the standings are right now, either Bucks, Celtics, Sixers, Cavs. Those are your top four.
Yep.
I don't really care about everyone else below because those are going to be the last.
I can't see any of those.
I can't
any
either.
Team below those four.
Yeah.
I can't even see the Cavs really.
I could see like a dark horse run and they get to the Eastern Conference Finals.
I could see a Hawks-esque run. Yep.
Yeah. And that's probably as far. Maybe get to 6-7 games and lose.
So think about it. If you have to beat Philly,
yep.
Then you'd have to beat the Cavs.
Yep.
Then you'd have to beat Milwaukee or Boston.
Yep.
On the other side, you have to beat Milwaukee.
It's going to be a tough run. Mm-hmm.
Or you have to beat Boston and then face Milwaukee or Boston.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have to play Philly or the Cavs.
It's going to be crazy.
It's rough out here for any team that isn't the top four in the East right now. The West, I can see a 10th seed winning.
Literally.
It's so even. I'm going to say right now, I want the Kings to win more than anything.
The Kings. Ooh.
More than anything other than the Sixers winning, I want the Kings to win.
I like the Kings second round exit.
Kings second round exit would be cool.
It's going to be like 6-game series, whoever they play, second round exit.
I think the only team I don't really want to win a championship in the West, really down to my soul, is probably Memphis.
Okay.
Listen, I don't mind. Jokic can win a championship.
Okay.
The hating Jokic is really, really hard.
Those days are past.
They're not past. Like obviously, I'm still gonna have Venom. Because Joel.
Yep.
But I just have to accept that he's a really good player, and that I really wouldn't mind him winning a championship.
Okay.
If it's over Joel, though, I'll lose my mind.
Oh my God! Could you imagine? Because at that point, MVP will be announced. It's going to be probably one of those two.
Okay, NBA, if you're rigged, you give me Denver, Philadelphia right now.
Oh my gosh!
You give me that championship.
Because remind me, I don't remember. When do the all NBA teams come out? Is that before finals too, or is that after?
I think the all NBA teams.
Yeah, all NBA teams.
I think it's before playoffs.
Oh,
if I'm not mistaken.
That'd be great. Because one of those two is going to be first team or second team.
Yeah.
Wow.
It really is those two at the top.
It really is.
And it's always Jokic because he's one of the MVPs.
He always gets the nod. Yep.
He
had a great game.
I'm not upset with him for making that first team.
It's not his fault. It's the media.
I'm upset with the fact that it's not positionless.
That's fair.
It should just be the top 5 for MVP. Should be all NBA first team. That's it.
I'm not mad at that take. I'm not mad. It's kind of cool.
That's what it should be.
All right. I like it. Cool, Trey.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Yeah, put the top 15 for MVP 15? And make them all NBA first, second, third team.
I'm not mad. I'm really not.
Yeah, because you remember when Bradley Beal was averaging like 30, but his team sucked?
Yep.
And so he didn't make an all NBA team. So he got logged out of his Supermax option for that year.
Do you know where he was in the MVP?
He was like 14th. He would have
barely made it.
Yeah, but also
would have made it.
And even if he was like 16th,
yeah,
you have the same outcome, but now your reasoning is even deeper because you're like, well, you weren't on the MVP list because you weren't winning. Just going, well, I don't think that you're one of the best guards because you weren't winning isn't fair.
Okay, I like that.
So give it some in-depth reasoning.
Okay, I like that, Trey.
Thank you. I'm here with the takes today.
That's a very original thought.
I'm sure like 45 people have said it before.
No, nobody's ever said that.
Like in the last 2 days.
No, this is the only podcast, the only person in the entire world
that's it
with that take.
Oh, okay.
And that's it. Yeah. Anyways, we got a little bit of other news, not a whole lot.
Probably just run through it real quick.
Yeah, we'll run through it really quick.
Earlier
today, the Bucks co-owner Mark Larcy sells his portion of the Milwaukee Bucks to the Cleveland Browns owner. So that's cool. I don't know anything about either of them. I just know Cleveland has made some questionable decisions with their money, and I hope that doesn't carry over to Milwaukee.
No, I remember reading something about that previously, though, that they were that ownership was looking to sell off the team little bit by little bit.
Well, there you go. You got a lot of it because he's a co-owner.
Yeah.
And then there was a little bit of talk from Adam Silver, I believe. He said or flirted with the idea of having the NBA implement a target score for teams to get to in overtime games. And what are your thoughts on that, Trey?
I hate it.
Okay.
I despise it.
Yeah.
I was going to say this previously, like when I was thinking about it, talking with my friends, but I was just going to bring it up when I talk to you. I feel like overtime games especially is it's not just a battle against the other team, but also the clock.
Yeah.
You know?
Fatigue.
You can go, I mean, you can't have, because the reason this came up is Kawhi Leonard played like 46 minutes the other night.
Yeah. With the Kings and
Clippers game.
Second highest scoring game
it was double
in
overtime,
NBA history.
Right?
Yeah. Double overtime was like 178, 176.
He played like 46 minutes.
Yep.
But also this goes back to load management because
a little bit.
Kawhi should just be able to play 46 minutes.
A little bit. He really should.
Level. But no, so this came up because of that, and they're basically saying, "Hey, we don't want to have this." So I don't like the load management part of the reasoning, right?
Yep.
I don't mind the other half of, "Hey, our broadcasts are going too long when this happens."
Yeah.
There's been a bunch of overtime games this year.
There really have.
Feels like it's happening all the time.
Yep.
So
that's exciting, dude. From a consumer perspective,
cool.
That's sick.
I love when it goes overtime.
Awesome.
I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I get more basketball.
That's free basketball, dude.
That's free basketball right there.
That's free basketball.
I love it.
But I don't know. Looking back at, like you just mentioned, a lot of overtime games. Pretty sure the next game that the Clippers played was also another overtime game against the Nuggets. So that's a tough beat, but like you said, they had a day off in between. I get it, travel, all that, but you have top tier professionals working on your body to get you right.
Yeah, and if you can't, I understand. Like that's a lot to ask of a human body.
Mm-hmm.
You're getting paid a lot to be able to do that, though.
Mm-hmm. And they're exceptional, so that's why they're where they are.
Like if you ask me to do that, I can't. I probably couldn't last more than like 5 minutes in an NBA game before being completely like just run down.
I could give you like suicides, do my own thing. Maybe. I won't be in the action.
Yeah, but I'll be on that court.
Yeah, I'll be present.
Running with you sometimes.
Yeah, it's the reality.
It's so much. And then constantly also taking a beating from other players. Like you were running into a brick wall as a brick wall, hoping their brick wall falters under your brick wall.
Mm-hmm.
we should have some level of face next time we record.
Okay, I like
face
that
recording.
idea.
I'll figure out how to do it.
Okay, I like that idea.
Maybe we'll do it for season 2 of 50 Shades of NBA Pod.
There you go. Big things coming, baby.
Not really. It's just the same thing, but also season 2.
Yeah, season 2. Ooh. And faces, live reactions. But set up a YouTube account, something like that. Okay.
I guess.
Yeah, well, I mean, we might have to just upload it there. But yeah, we got that. I'm also not in favor of target score.
Mm-hmm.
Just makes it less exciting. Yeah, All-Star game, it makes total sense. It just, there's not as much excitement to me if a team has to get like 24 more points to win.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, but
because there's also runs.
Yeah, there are runs. Yep.
I feel like most overtimes, unless they go to a double overtime, which isn't as common.
Yeah,
but just statistically that makes sense.
Yeah,
but I feel like most overtimes I watch, it's like one team that was really hot going into it stays really hot and just wins in overtime.
Yep.
And I'm like, I like that because I'm like, hey, that guy has it,
I got you.
But also, there's a time limit. So the other team knows exactly how much time they have where they go, all right, we need to figure something out.
Gotta make a stop here, And
it's just not as fun where I could be like, okay, we foul now, get the ball back, maybe get a 3. But in reality, with this target score, it's like, well, we can't even foul because they just need one more point.
Literally.
And it's just over.
I like it. That's good explanation. Lastly, on our itinerary, we have LaMelo Ball. This just came out like right before we started the podcast, so very unfortunate to lose because the Hornets were on a 5-game win streak too. But LaMelo Ball for the Charlotte Hornets has a right ankle fracture, stress fracture. So his season's done. Hopefully Charlotte can do something to help take that stress, no pun intended, off of him.
Just made a stress fracture pun.
I did. Just to give him some sort of help. Gordon Hayward.
Yeah, I mean,
you're not enough.
You're not enough. Your $30 million contract is looking real bad.
Really bad. And maybe you should have just stayed with the Jazz. But
definitely not
because we got Donovan Mitchell. Wow, that was a weird whisper, dude.
Whoa, is this place haunted by a Jazz fan?
It must be. That's crazy.
Wow.
That was a terrible 4th of July. Because he announced that on 4th of July, dude. That signing. And that was like maybe a year or two after I really started getting into the NBA and the Utah Jazz. I'm like, Gordon Hayward is like, he's the dude on the Jazz. My favorite player at the time.
Yep.
And heart just broken immediately.
Shattered.
I was like, who do I go to? Oh, Rudy Gobert's kind of cool.
My favorite person on the Sixers when I got into basketball was our president of basketball operations, Sam Hinkie.
Wow.
And then immediately after that, it was Jahlil Okafor.
Okay. We love that. That panned out really well for you.
Yeah.
For the both of us, our fandoms.
Yep.
Tough.
Listen, I was definitely insane for liking Jahlil Okafor.
Uh-huh.
But I just liked his number.
That's fair.
8.
Okay, 8. That's what's up.
I wore 8.
Okay, there you go, Trey.
I thought it was cool.
There's a good correlation there.
Yeah.
I respect it.
What are you going to do?
What are you going to do? Yeah, I think that does it for us today.
That's everything.
Got anything else?
Oh, Nathan, I feel like I've gotten this question a couple times.
Okay.
Why are you a Jazz fan?
All right. I am a Jazz fan because I was trying to impress this girl in high school, okay? She played basketball, and I knew not a lot about basketball. I was pretty terrible in my YMCA days, never made a bucket. My best highlight career play was setting a pick at half court, and the kid just ate it. He bounced off of me.
Dang.
I was a thick little kid in the 4th grade, so he made a nice thud when he hit, and that was the highlight of my career. I played for 5 years, Pee Wee, YMCA. I was terrible. But anyway, that was my basketball knowledge and expertise to that point. But I saw this girl. She played basketball. She had an interest in basketball. So I bought NBA 2K just to learn a little bit more about it. I already played video games. And my player went to the Utah Jazz. And I was like, you know what? This team's kind of cool.
Said I'm a Jazz fan.
Yeah, I'm a Jazz fan. And it also started my hatred for the Warriors because we lost in the Western Conference Finals to them. So a lot of firsts. And turns out that girl I was trying to impress, it worked. Okay. And all these years later, we made it official. So thank you, Gabby.
That's Gabby?
Yeah, that's Gabby, dude. Yeah. Started watching basketball because of her.
Shout out Gabby.
Uh-huh.
Man, this podcast would not exist without Gabby.
Literally. Also, when I got back here from my flight home, first thing I see on my phone was Dame just dropped 71. He's the oldest player to do it. And that was also from Gabby. So that was pretty cool.
Shout out Gabby.
Yeah. But
man.
Yeah, that's why I'm a Jazz fan.
Yeah. That's
Trey,
crazy.
Why are you a Sixers fan? I feel like I have to ask.
Sam Hinkie.
Okay.
Sam Hinkie. I just like that he thought he was smarter than everyone else.
Okay.
I thought that was funny. And I was like, cool. And then I liked his vision. I liked his thought process. I liked the process. Absolutely fell in love with the Sixers, way they went about things. I fell in love with their development program for Rocco, for Dario, for all these players. I just really enjoyed everything about the Sixers.
All right.
And the process Sixers. And so I got into the Sixers.
I like it.
Then I got hardcore into basketball because I met you at college.
Word.
Because I was mediocrely into basketball around junior, sophomore year of high school. And then I met you at college, and you only got into basketball because Gabby. So Gabby birthed both of us.
Wow. Gabby, this podcast really is only possible because of you.
Shout out Gabby.
Wow. That's awesome. Oh, before we end, I guess this will be the last thing. You gave me cards, basketball cards the other week. And here's the first one. Unfortunate timing given the news that happened, but it is a LaMelo ball.
Ooh, this is shiny.
It is shiny. And then because you're a Sixers fan,
Is this Andre Drummond?
It's Andre Drummond in a Lakers jersey.
In a Lakers jersey. Thank you so much, Nathan.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, these are way shinier than the one I gave you.
Oh, you're cool. It's Donovan Mitchell. Love that man.
It is D Mitch.
Yeah, there
these
you
are
go.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Nathan.
Of course. So I guess with that, we'll end episode 23 here.
Yeah, it's been real.
It's been fun.
And it has been real fun.
Today was a real fun one.
Real fun one.
But y'all stay spicy.
Stay spicy.
Stay spicy.
Deuces.
That's a new one. Deuces.